Most women use a subtle psychological trick on men that causes men to try harder in the dating process or when they first meet a woman. The guy feels like he has to impress her. He has to try to gain her approval of him. He has to try to get a chance with her because she holds all the power. And she creates that dynamic by using this subtle psychological trick. So have you ever heard the term impending doom, right? It's that feeling, it's that sense that something bad is going to happen. Well, there's something that I like to call impending rejection. And this is something that most women are absolute naturals at when it comes to dating, right? They give a guy the impression that at any moment they could reject him. They seem to be considering, they seem to be weighing up whether or not he is good enough. Is he saying the right things? Is he behaving in the right sort of ways? They seem to be giving that impression, and the guy feels like, okay, I've got to be on my best behavior here. I've got to do everything right. Otherwise, I'm going to get rejected. Most guys are unaware that girls, women, they use that subtle psychological trick on them to have the power, to be in the position of power in the initial dating process, right? When you first meet, when you go on a first date, or even when you start to date and begin a relationship. So most guys are unaware that women do that, and even less guys are aware that they can actually do that instead. They can take on that role with women and make the woman feel as though there is an impending rejection, make her feel like she needs to impress him. She's got to be on her best behavior. She's got to make a great impression with him. He could reject her. So for girls and for women, the usual experience is this. A guy meets a woman and hopes that he can get her to like him. He hopes that she won't reject him. Both girls and women come to expect that as they grow up because it's what they pretty much always experience with guys. Yet every now and then, a woman will come across a guy who knows the secret I'm about to share with you. So what works is when you actively make women feel sexually attracted to your behavior, for example, your confidence, your masculinity, charm, charisma, or humor, and show some interest in the woman, but always be giving her the subtle impression that you could reject her at any moment. You can do that instantly within the first 10 seconds, 10 minutes, and all the way throughout the initial dating process. And if you think about it, women do that instantly as well, and within the first 10 seconds, within the first 10 minutes, and so on, when you meet them. Right? You'll meet a woman and she'll be assessing and judging and seeing whether or not she likes you. She'll give you that impression rather than just being open and friendly and showing lots of interest all the time. She will give you the impression of an impending rejection. The reason why it's used as a trick by some women is that some women will do that when they really like a guy. So rather than showing that she likes him, she will act like she isn't sure or like she could reject him at any moment. In most cases, he then feels more of a need to impress her, to hopefully win her over and get a chance with her. It puts her in the position of power. Most guys try to hopefully get a chance with a woman, and they try to hopefully avoid the impending rejection, right? That impending doom. They're trying to avoid that moment from happening, and they put themselves in that position, whereas you are interacting with her, you're actively making her feel attracted because you're being confident, you're being masculine, charming, charismatic, you're using some humor, things like that. She's feeling sparks of attraction for you. You're showing some interest, but at the same time, you're also giving her the impression of an impending rejection. Another way to say it is that you could lose interest at any moment, right? It's not necessarily a harsh rejection towards her of, hey, I don't like you, or hey, I'm not interested, or just looking away and walking off and so forth. It's not a harsh rejection like that. It can simply be that you can lose interest at any moment. Right? There are certain things that she's saying that could cause you to lose interest, or certain things about her behavior. And she gets that sense, right? You've sensed it before with women. You know the feeling. Now, it's important to point out here that the reason why you would care about a woman potentially losing interest is that you feel attracted to her, right? So if you're interacting with a woman that you don't find attractive, you don't find her attractive at all, right? You're not interested, and she's giving you signs that she could lose interest, you're not going to care. The same thing applies with women, right? If a guy's interacting with a woman and all he has been is nice towards her and friendly and he's not doing anything to create sexual sparks inside of her, and he seems a bit nervous or unsure of himself at times, and he seems to be assessing her, then she's not going to be really caring about that because she's not feeling attracted to him. He doesn't have the sort of confidence that she wants. He's not able to create a sexual vibe between him and her, and he seems to be assessing her and sort of judging her. Who's he to judge me? Right? She's thinking, I'm more attractive than him. I'm not interested in him. I don't care, and so forth. So it's important to point out that if you want to be in the position of power with women, then you need to make sure that you're making them feel attracted to your behavior when you're interacting with them. And you then have the guts, the courage, the non-neediness to judge her, to be assessing her at the same time. If you can do that, then you are the sort of guy that makes a woman feel excited. It's what women often refer to as the thrill of the chase, or a guy who is more of a challenge, right? A guy who's not instantly smitten by her and, she doesn't have to do anything. Right, he's got to pass her test. He's got to live up to her standards, and then he's going to get a chance with her. Right? Most guys don't act that needy and that desperate with it, but most guys do come across in a way in the subtleties of what they're saying to a woman that they are trying to get a chance with her. Right? The guy might be sitting there and being confident as he talks to her, but she can hear, based on what he's saying, she can pick up on it, that she is in the position of power. He might be a confident guy, he might be successful in his career, but when he's interacting with her, he feels like she is in the power position, right? He needs to hopefully get a chance with her. He needs to be ticking off her boxes in order to get a chance, right? It's not a case of, hang on, I can actually assess you. I can actually be the one who's deciding whether or not she gets a chance with me. I can have that sort of confidence, right? Some guys know how to do it, and as a result, they find themselves in that power position where women are trying to impress them. Women are excited. They're hoping to get a chance. Now, something important to point out here is that some guys get an idea in their head that if they just ignore women and act like they don't care about women, then women are going to come rushing to them. Women are going to say, wow, that guy just doesn't even care. Like, he just does his own thing. He's not even interested in me. I want to be with that guy. Now, the thing is, that can happen if the guy is very confident and his behavior looks attractive to the woman. But in most cases, when a guy tries to use that approach with women, where he just does his own thing, doesn't pay attention to women, his behavior isn't making the woman feel sexually attracted, right? She looks at him and she can see that he doesn't really feel very comfortable in social situations. He doesn't seem to be an emotionally independent man. Like when he's in a social situation or a public situation, or when she first notices him, he seems like the sort of guy who is a bit concerned about what others are thinking of him. And he might try to hide that, and he might think he's doing a good job of hiding that, but you can't really hide what's going on inside, right? What goes on inside your head, how you're really feeling, comes out through your body language, and it's subtle, right? People can see it, and you will have seen it when you're looking at other people, when they try to act like they're confident or they're cool. A certain guy might try to act like he's alpha and so forth, but people can tell that he's insecure, that he's being a tryhard, that he feels uncomfortable and so on. Now, if you can notice that as a guy, you can bet that women can notice that, right? They are much more in tune with those sort of things. They are hardwired to find a guy who is truly confident, right? Who is truly comfortable around other people, other men, who isn't the sort of guy who's going to be picked on, the sort of guy who she can feel safe around because he's comfortable and confident in social situations and so on. So it's important to understand that just ignoring women and, acting like you don't care about them and so forth isn't a strategy to have women come running up to you and try to impress you and hopefully try to get a chance with you, right? Instead, the way to get results now and make a woman like you instantly right now is to interact with her, make her feel attracted based on how you're behaving. For example, you're being confident, masculine, charming, and so forth. You show some interest in her, but at the same time, give her the sense of an impending rejection, right? That you could lose interest in her at any moment. And the thing is, when it comes to women, when you have the right mindset about a particular situation with a woman, you will naturally behave in a way that gives you the power, puts you in the power position, and makes her feel attracted. I've given you a powerful mindset in this video, and I'm going to give you a powerful insight in a second. But first, I'm going to point out that if you want to learn my most powerful mindset for feeling 100% confident around women that you find attractive, then make sure you read my ebook, The Flow, or listen to the audiobook version. The Flow is the easiest way to get laid or get a girlfriend and includes my best ever techniques and examples of what to say to instantly make women feel attracted to you, want to be with you, want to contribute to the conversation, show interest in you, and happily go from one step to the next with you, right? You flow from one step to the next, where you start off with a conversation, you quickly get to a kiss or a phone number or sex or a date. Essentially, you effortlessly flow from one step to the next with a woman rather than getting stuck and having her play hard to get, or not knowing what to say or do at a particular point. You are always in a position of power, you make women feel attracted to you, and you flow from one step to the next. It's the easiest way to get laid or get a girlfriend. So a powerful insight that I want to share with you now is that sometimes you have to make a woman feel a little bit of pain to get the pleasure that you want to experience with her, right? So making her feel that pain of worry, of potentially getting rejected, of the fear of loss, right? She could lose her opportunity with you, of uncertainty, of anxiety, of stress and tension in the moment, right? You're making her feel those more painful emotions rather than just trying to make her feel pleasurable emotions by getting along with her all the time, just being friendly and reassuring and so forth. In many cases with women, you have to be willing to make them feel a little bit of pain to get the pleasure that you want, right? So when you're making her feel that worry and that anxiety, she then starts showing more interest in you. She starts making herself easier for you. She starts touching you. She starts opening up more. She shows that she wants to go from one step to the next with you. She calls you more. She texts you more. She initiates sex more and so forth. You're getting the pleasure that you want by allowing her to experience some of the emotional pain that she wants, right? Women don't just want rainbows and lollipops and little bunnies all the time, right? They do want to experience a full range of emotions, and it's exciting for a woman to be in a position where she has to impress the guy. She has to win him over more. She has to be on her best behavior. She has to be giving him the best impression that she can to truly become his girl.